Hey heathens! I'm going to post this as a follow-up to my Paul video where I talked about Paul, the con man of Christianity, who promotes Paulianity more than what Jesus Christ had to say, which is what is practiced by most Christians today. But it's more than that. Here's the thing. How many of you guys, on the atheist side, have heard someone say, well, why would the disciples die for a lie? This is a response to many different things, and I'm going to address it now. This comes in basically three parts. Would someone die for a lie? Or would they go, okay, yeah, I'm lying. How many people do you know have lied to your face and would take that lie to their grave rather than admit it? Now, we all like to think that, people would cough it up if you tortured them enough. But here's the reality. Most people believe their own lies. Would they tell the truth? Or would they continue to think that their lie is truth? But it's more than that. Let's take a look at why did Paul die? Paul was locked up. He did go to prison. We know that. We know that Paul was real. We know that Paul did live. And we know that he did go to prison. Why did he go to prison? For disobeying the emperor. He was going against the emperor's wishes. Why was he doing that? Would he put himself into prison over a lie? How many con men do you know in prison? How many of them knew they were lying to begin with and yet went to prison? And now Paul died for a lie. Would someone go to jail for a lie? We know that answer is yes. There's a whole vast nation full here in the United States of people who go to jail over lies. So we know that would happen. But would they die for it? We're going to come back to that. We know they go to jail for it. Would they die for it? Okay. The other part of this is, what is a lie? What exactly is a lie? A lie is saying something that isn't true. Now, just because something isn't true doesn't mean that someone doesn't think that it's true. For example, Charles Manson. Charles Manson is just a very sick and demented person. He thought he was Jesus. There were other people who thought he was Jesus. They were willing to go to jail for him. They murdered people because he said so. And they were willing to die for that lie. Were the disciples in on the lie? Or were they fooled by the lie? So that's the next question you have to ask yourself. Were they part of the lie or fooled by the lie? There are women still in prison today, and the only reason they're still alive is because of a jurisdiction thing where Charles Manson and the three women who assisted him got transferred to a separate prison where the capital punishment of death was no longer. So they are still alive. Other than that, they would have been dead, and they would have died for the lie that they believed. But they believed this lie. They thought this lie was true. So could the disciples have been fooled? How many disciples did David Koresh have in the Branch Davidian? How many of those people died for his lie? Okay, so now that it's very obvious to anyone with a rational brain that someone could have been fooled by a person who said that they were a Messiah and so, do what I say, and they would have died for his lie. We've immediately removed all the disciples. We've immediately removed all of that because they were just fooled by Jesus. But let's beat this dead horse. Let's say they were arrested, and let's say they were going to trial for their crimes. What was their crime? Was their crime saying that Jesus was the Son of God? Sorta. Their crime was heresy. Their crime was, going against the religion, whatever particular part of it they decided that they were worthy to be executed for. Would they have died for it? Part 3. The Salem witch trials were conducted in a fashion, along with all the other witch hunts which happened in Europe. This happened over 500 years, by the way, for those of you who don't know this. And I don't have it over here. Sam Harris's book, End of the Faith. You'll want to read on this subject. For 500 years, witch hunts were conducted as part of the Inquisition. Torture had been endorsed by the Pope as a means to get these people to confess. I'll tell you right now, torture me and I'll confess that I'm Barney. Okay? I'll confess that I'm Ted Haggart in disguise. I'll confess to whatever you want me to confess to if that will make you stop torturing me. That's why torture isn't a valid method of questioning someone, because they will tell you whatever it is that you want to hear. That's why we should not support torture as the nation of the United States, despite what our government is currently doing. But would that matter? In the witch trials, if a woman did in fact confess her sins, that she was in fact a witch, was she let go? No. She was still burned alive. What was the reward for confessing her sins of being a witch? A witch. I mean, seriously, a freaking witch. They would strangle her first and then burn her alive, so that she didn't have to be... They would strangle her first and then burn her dead instead of burning her alive. That was the reward. So, we can kill you slowly or kill you quickly. Which would you prefer? I'll take quickly. Then say that you were a witch, in fact, so that we are somehow endorsed in our actions. Would someone die for a lie? You're damn right I'd die for a lie. I would die for the lie that you thought I was a witch, so that you would kill me quickly rather than torture me for a prolonged period of time. I would die for a lie if you had tricked me. I would die for a lie if I thought I could get away with it. So yeah, I would die for a lie. But the question, the third part, is did they die for a lie? What is your proof that the disciples and Paul died over professing Christianity? It's this right here. Find me a document somewhere else that says that they died for professing Christianity. When you can't understand that circular logic, write that one out, and then go back to the others that I said. Were they just fooled? Did they confess and were killed anyway? Or were they just on another damn witch hunt? And so they killed them regardless of what anything would have happened. Yeah. People die for lies all the time. We have soldiers right now dying for them as we speak.